Hi everyone, I'm Kinsey, and this is my TBR for the Reading Rush. And this is my cat, Chester. So the Reading Rush used to be called Booktube-a-thon. It's a week-long read-a-thon in July, and they have 7 prompts that are pretty specific for the types of books that you read. And I'll leave all the info in the description, although I assume most of you who are watching this have probably heard of it before. So let's get into it. The first prompt is to read a book with purple on the cover. And so I'm going to read Red Clocks by Lenny Zumos. It doesn't look super purple in this light, but I promise it is. If you look it up online, it definitely is. This is a novel that came out last year. Takes place in kind of a version of the US where abortion is illegal, and so it's about 5 different women dealing with that in different ways. So struggling with like pregnancy or motherhood or not wanting to be a mother or whatever the case. So this has purple on the cover. I'm going to read it for that prompt, but it also applies to one of the later prompts also. So there's that. So the next prompt is to read a book in the same place the entire time, so in the same spot. I'm planning on reading it in this chair, and I picked a very short one. Ayidi by Roxane Gay. It's a short story collection that I just picked up in June. It's only like 170 something pages, and the font and typeface is pretty, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's pretty large type, as a lot of her books are. So I think I'm gonna kind of zip right through this. So yeah, it's a short story collection all about people of Haitian descent or from Haiti. So I think it'll be like a pretty quick read, but also I love Roxane Gay's writing. I've read Hunger and I've read Bad Feminist, so I like how she writes. So happy to read this. So the next prompt is to read a book I meant to read last year. And this is a prompt that Red Clocks would also fit under. So if I don't get to this book, I can still count it as a prompt being fulfilled. But I'm going to read Good and Mad by Rebecca Traister. And the sub heading of it really tells you about what it is. The revolutionary power of women's anger. So it's a nonfiction book. It's like the only kind of standard nonfiction book that I have in my TBR, so I think it'll give me a nice break. It also, since it has all those notes and acknowledgments at the end, it only has 250 pages. So if I'm trying to read 7 books, which is the bonus challenge for Reading Rush, then I think picking shorter books that are a little bit more attainable will definitely make sense. I also have this on hold, and my library's like online audiobook system, so I'm hoping that I can listen to part of it or listen to all of it and then read where possible. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try to supplement my physical reading with my audio reading to try to get through all of these books in the week. So yeah, this will be the book that I meant to read last year, Good and Mad. So the next one is, the prompt is to read an author's first book. So I chose The Word for Woman is Wilderness by Abby Andrews. I just picked this up. It's by a debut author, obviously, but it was published by $2 Radio, who is a smaller, like, family-owned publishing house in Columbus. And I picked it up in part because I wanted to support them, in part because I was really curious about it. It basically centers around a young woman who's making a nature documentary traveling around I think it's like Alaska, but also through like Iceland and Greenland and Canada. Men have owned the narrative of like mountain man, one man alone in the wilderness. That genre and that kind of experience has been owned and told by men. And so this is kind of like, she's kind of reclaiming that as like being able to own that narrative a little bit. So I'm very intrigued. It seems like a more interesting writing style, not so cut and dry maybe, or not so conventional, but I'm excited about it and I just picked it up, so I'm going to read it while I'm so excited about it. So the next prompt is to read a book with a non-human main character. And this is difficult for me because I don't read a lot of like fantasy, I don't read a lot of sci-fi, so I don't read a lot with like non-human, like humanoid main characters. So this might be a little bit of a stretch, but for this prompt I want to read Afterglow, which is a dog memoir by Eileen Miles. This is a memoir of her and her dog, Rosie the pit bull. And it's basically just about their lives together. And I think that counts, because if it's a dog memoir, one of the main characters is the dog then. I'm just making that assumption. So hope this counts for a non-human main character. A little bit of a stretch, but this is definitely the only kind of poetry or poetic novel or memoir, as it were. There's definitely some sections that are more prosy, some sections that are like, this is all more like a script-ish or just the dialogue. And then I think I saw some sections of more like poetic, like appearance at least of how it's structured. So looking forward to this. This is also a shorter book, just over 200 pages. So hoping I can get this one done for the non-human main character. So the next prompt is to pick a book with 5 or more words in the title. So I chose Native Country of the Heart by Cherie Moraga. Not quite sure if that's the pronunciation. This author co-edited The Bridge Called My Back, which is a very feminist, famous feminist collection of essays by women of color that was published in like the maybe 70s or 80s. This is her memoir, mostly focusing on her mom, who lived lives between California and Mexico. This is another one of those books that I've been reading a lot of that is a book about a adult child kind of reflecting or talking to their mom. And so the other books I've read in this kind of topic are Heavy by Kinsey and On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I might just want to make like a little series of videos about that because I just find it very interesting. This is a short book. It's also the book for a book club that I've gone to kind of sporadically. So it's the August book. So I'll be able to actually participate in the book club because I will have actually finished it because of the readathon. So I'm excited. This will be my 5 or more words in the title book. So the last prompt is to read and watch a book to movie adaptation. So I don't own a ton of books that are becoming movies or have become movies recently. So I picked one that became a TV show this is also a book I meant to read last year, so it would also fulfill that other prompt. But this is Dietland by Saray Walker. I believe this is the AMC like TV show cover also. But it's basically about a I guess heavy, overweight, whatever word you want to use, woman who works at a teen magazine, and she gets caught up in this underground group of women who are kind of fighting beauty standards, and then there's like this guerrilla group who's, quote, terrorizing a world that mistreats women, and she becomes entangled in a sinister plot with explosive consequences. It just sounds like it'll be fun. It sounds like it'll be kind of quick. It sounds like it'll just be a good summer read. You know, it's July. You know, it's fully like a summertime read. So this will satisfy the book to movie adaptation. So part of it is also to watch the adaptation. So I think as long as I watch like at least like half of the series, maybe 2 episodes, however long, maybe I'll just do it that it's like one movie length worth of episodes. Does that sound fair? Let me know if you think that sounds fair. So this will be the last book on my TBR. These are my planned TBR for Reading Rush. I do have a couple other books that I was considering, so if I am not in the mood to read one of these, I might pivot. Don't hold me to it. But I definitely want to participate in some of the video challenges and kind of be more active in the discussion and the actual readathon. So this is my plan. Might not follow the plan, but planning on following the plan. This is also my first Booktube video, so if you're watching it, just be kind. Let me know you're out there. I really appreciate any feedback or comments you guys have. So let me know if you guys have read any of these and if you would recommend them or maybe not recommend them, and then I can just pivot and change up my list before it even starts. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, bye.